Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Tucker will be with you again shortly, but we do want to cover the breaking news as it develops, and what a night we've had already. We understand normally the procedure would be that the Senate would vote second when you have a bipartisan bill like this border budget bill to extend funding of the government till September 30th. But because of the funeral of Congressman Dingell, the House said, hey, can we vote late at night? So the Senate had their vote, and they had 83 votes for, so it passes. The House, at this very moment, as I split the screen with them, is beginning to vote, and they're going to vote for the next 15 minutes on the passage of the bill. Now, it's expected to pass as we bring in Mark Stein. Mark, the one thing I'm wondering is, being that it's become clear and we're reported at the top of the hour that the president's going to take the $1.375 billion and all the provisions that are with it to build the barrier, and there's more money. There's $49 billion in here for other things, but he's going to take that. But the being that he's getting about $8 billion total in emergency funds, national emergency funds, which he can declare constitutionally, I'm wondering if some liberals are going to defect from that. What do you think?
So the theory would be that if they think he's serious about doing it, then they would object to this bill, because he does need the starting money. He needs that additional, he needs that billion and change just so he can get going before, as we were talking about before, some district court judge in the Ninth Circuit somewhere decides to strike it down. I think what will be interesting about this is the dynamic between the Freedom Caucus, which in the House, which has felt it does not actually have any meaningful leverage on this, and the president's own inclinations. But the language of this bill, I mean, this is an appallingly written bill. As you say, it's very weird for it to be starting in the Senate because, you know, funding bills normally start in the House. There's a great sense that a lot of this is being kind of made up as it goes along. But there are things in that bill that are poorly drafted and that have huge implications. And legislators owe that to their constituents beyond anything else. All this wording that nothing in this bill or any other bills, for example. What does or any other bills mean in there? He can't ever build a wall in the Rio Grande Valley. No way, no how, not now, not never. I mean, this isn't the way republics of citizen representatives draft legislation.
Right, and we're watching this tally go right now. Nita Lowey, who is in charge of appropriations, she's chairperson, and she's the one who really was part of that led the 17-person bipartisan bicameral committee. She just spoke 5 minutes before we hopped on, just while we're in the break, Mark, and she was saying, okay, let's the voting start. It's going to be electronic, and we have right now, it looks 122 to 22, so it looks pretty overwhelming. If you missed at the top of the hour, we did speak to Mick Mulvaney, and Mick Mulvaney broke down where he's getting the additional money that the president will officially sign in an executive order in national emergency. He's getting $600 million for the Treasury Forfeiture Fund. He's got to get $2.5 billion from the DoD drug interdiction account, $3.5 billion from the military construction budget. Now, over the last 3 months, he's been asking people, come up with some money you think that will help, because it's all in the name of national security. But I want to go now, and this is the money and how it breaks down. Obviously, Nancy Pelosi is going to, well, it's just a matter of time before she challenges this or somebody challenges this in court. David Spunt is actually on the House floor covering all this as the vote develops. It's round now 129 to 28. David, any surprises so far?
Well, hey, Brian, that's the vote total right now. The actual final number is 217. That would be the magic number, I should say. We're waiting. Once it gets to 217, then you can officially say that they have the votes needed to actually pass that bill, combine that with the Senate version, then go ahead and send it over to the White House. Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, said today she has been confident from the beginning that this was not going to be a problem. She said this was going to pass. Also, Brian, she mentioned that there may be some legal challenges if the president declares a national emergency. She said that it could cause some type of precedent issues, meaning that if a Democrat gets elected next time, they could declare a national emergency for what they feel would constitute a national emergency. So right now it's a 15-minute vote. We should know, I'm looking right now from some emails from our House producer, Chad Pergram, the final tally should come somewhere around the top of the hour in about 15 minutes. And the magic number in the House is 217 as we watch those votes tally now. And then at that point, There will be a ceremony. Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, will sign it and then send it over to the White House, where you've been speaking to the Chief of Staff, and the President's team will review it before he signs it. Brian?
David, real quick, 10 seconds. Anybody say something of note in their remarks before the vote took place that our viewers should know about?
Well, we do know that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she is a liberal Democrat from New York. As she was walking in, somebody spoke to her off camera, and she said that she would be voting no because the actual bill gives money to Homeland Security. She said that she wants to defund ICE and parts of Homeland Security. Brian?
Right. She's definitely different. Always trying to stand out on every vote at every moment. David Spunt, thanks so much. Mark Stein, thank you very much.